You are now listening to Between Us Girls, the podcast, where we discuss life's fuckeries and then some over wine.
Welcome to our show. This is Michelle,
Danielle, Jen,
and this is
Between Us Girls.
Thank you so much for listening and supporting us. If you've stumbled upon our show by accident, then please be sure to follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and as far as our social media, with Facebook, Between Us Girls, the podcast, Instagram, Between Us Girls Podcast, Twitter, @GirlTalk, and Wine. And we want to give a super fan shout out to Charles Sherrard.
Yeah, hi Charles. Thank you for listening. He has been so super supportive, giving feedback and letting us know that we're doing great. And we appreciate you so much.
Yes, we do.
Thank you. Okay, so our guest is this episode. I stumbled across her GoFundMe page, which... I found through a friend. She just inboxed me and she was like, girl, look at this. So I go look at the page and I was so shocked and surprised to see a detailed account of lies and fallacies that she experienced at the hand of her husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, Robert. So Kim has decided to make some lemonade out of the lemons that she was handed, and she is going to soon release a book, and we have her here with us today. Kim, say hello.
Hey.
Hi, Kim.
Hey. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
No, you're so welcome. We really appreciate you coming on. So we have some questions for you. Are you ready?
Okay. Well, just so you guys know, first, before we get started,
okay.
The name of my book is called, that I'm going to tie into this, is called Happily Married My Ass.
Oh.
By Kim Tumey. Okay. You got to do that plug. You know what I'm saying?
Is there anything you want to tell us about the situation, before we jump into the interview?
I mean, marriage, of course. I think life, period, is what you make it, And unfortunately, I have found for living almost 50 years that most people rather live a hard life than live a happy life. And it's very unfortunate because I think I'm a very happy, uplifting, kind of easygoing girl. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you just have people out there that they're just damned if you're going to be happy. No, we got to do something to make this a miserable situation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very unfortunate because I'm the type of girl that I can sleep on a mattress and crack jokes all day and split a Twix with you. Or I can be that chick in the private jet, sipping on champagne. I'm going to be happy regardless. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just unfortunate that, again, people don't pick their battle. And, and unfortunately, in my situation, that's basically what it was. Me and him were just not equally yoked. And he did a lot of lying and betrayal. He went through great lengths to betray me. And that's part of my book because, the way I was raised, from my era, we were only taught that men were liars, cheaters, or abusive.
Right.
We weren't taught about mental disease or personality disorders, So I kept telling my husband, I know something is wrong with you. I just didn't know what to call it. You know what I mean? And so he had a family member that actually told me what he was after I told her some of the things he had done to me. And that's been in the last 2 months. So when she told me he was a sociopath, I was like, I've heard of a sociopath. I just don't know what a sociopath is. So when I went to go Google it, girl, I started crying because I was sad because you don't wish that on anybody. I mean, I sit up and I laugh about it because it's my life. And again, I'm always going to see, that's the way I heal, first of all. I like to laugh. But I don't wish that on anybody, my husband included, regardless of what we've been through. I don't wish it on my worst enemy. But more than anything, I was happy that I had an answer to what the problem was. So it kind of felt good at the same time to have a diagnosis because he checked off everything on that list. I was like, wow, this is amazing, but sad at the same time.
Yeah, because it kind of helped you to say, you know what, it's not me. I'm really not crazy. There's really something wrong with him.
That was never my issue.
Right.
My issue was staying with my husband is because I'm a God-fearing woman. And, you know, some people sit up here and say, well, you should have had a spirit of discernment. I need them to shut up, sit down, and have a seat. Because half these people that got a spirit of discernment got 10 baby mamas, 3 baby daddies. Don't sit up here and try to tell me what kind of spirit of discernment. I'm not, excuse my French, but I ain't trying to sleep around. I got married to mine. So
Right.
I'm just saying, have a couple of them. But, you know, as far as the spirit of discernment go, to each their own, because you can only discern what people are giving you at that time. And he's very, very good, and that's why he was able to get away with so much for so long, not with just me, with his family, colleagues. I mean, it's a long list of things that, I mean, the book is just going to be like, wow, really?
Okay.
Who does that?
Well, let's talk about what we're sipping on. What wine are we drinking? This is what? Bay Bridge American Merlot?
Yeah.
Yum.
It is, let's see, 12.5% alcohol.
Yum.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay for right now, but we'll wrap it up at the end.
Yeah, we're using our wine scorecard again, so everybody, sorry, we're not going to be doing Is It Good or Not this episode.
Well, I mean, we can.
Oh,
But
okay.
you have to still say.
The number?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Kim, so it's time for your hot seat. All right.
Okay.
When you initially met Robert, what was it that attracted him to you? Lord.
What attracted me to him?
Attracted you to
Yeah.
him. Sorry.
Yeah, that wine is kicking in.
It is. I had several sips.
What initially attracted me to him, actually the only thing that really attracted me to him, that he came across as a God-fearing man, and that he knew his Bible backwards and forward. He prayed over me, and he went to church. That was something I had never experienced before. So that's how he got me.
Mm-hmm. Well, before you decided to end the relationship and leave him, what did your friends and family have to say about it? And what made you decide to stay the 4 years?
We're going to leave family out of it because family really wasn't involved from day one. So that's a whole other part of the book. But as far as, well, let me start here. My first year with him, I told him I was going to get him to year 4. And again, the only reason I gave him to year 4, I don't know where the number 4 came from. I just knew I couldn't do 5. So it's probably where 4 came from. But, you know, my thing was we all have asked for forgiveness. God has forgiven all of us. And who am I to not allow my husband or all the people on the planet, why would I not say or give him opportunity to change, grow, learn from his mistakes? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All I could do was put that ball back in his court and give him the opportunity. And, you know, it was hard. It was hard them 4 years. Don't get it twisted. But I am the woman of my word. So I stayed till year 4. And, of course, year 4 I left because he got worse. He didn't try to fix anything. He wasn't interested in being a righteous man. I mean, it's a whole bunch of stuff with that. But as far as my friends and family, my friends especially, because my family didn't really try to get to know him. But my friends, none of them liked him. None. Like, I mean, but how can you like somebody that does the things that he did?
Right.
Let me know you're ready for some examples. I got plenty of.
So, at some point, you did feel like he might change through the course of the 4 years. You thought maybe he would change.
I mean, again, who am I? I can't change anybody.
Right.
You just hope and pray that they see the wrongs that they do, and you just pray to God that they'll, you know, see some type of light at the end of the tunnel. You know, that's all you can hope for. Now, what's it going to take for them to change? I don't know, but, you know, I did my part. My thing was always this: if I drop dead today and go in front of God, am I going to be able to say I did my best, or am I going to be like I assumed? Because I didn't have a lot of proof either. I didn't have a lot of proof of the things that he was doing, and that's another thing that was my problem. Because you can't just leave somebody without the actual proof. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of ironic that I picked year 4 because year 4, that's when everything revealed to me. Like, God was just sending thing after thing after thing to me. I was like, oh, okay. You know, all my confirmations basically came in on year 4. It was crazy. Like,
wow.
90% of it came in on year 4. Right.
So were you guys together? I'm sorry. Keep going.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you were together a long time before you got married.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Mm.
I met him online. I met him on Facebook. And the backstory of this, a lot of people don't know. I've never shared this with a lot of people. I don't think I've shared it with anybody on social media. But the thing about my backstory with him is the reason I married him so quick. I told you I'm a God-fearing child. Every year for my birthday's in January, I kick off my year by feeding the homeless for my birthday. Mm-hmm. And this year in particular, 2012, I did the same thing. Rain, sleet, or snow, I don't care what the weather looks like. If I have it planned, I'm going, right? So this day it was raining and it was cold, and me and my girls, there's about 10 of us out there. We out there feeding the homeless. And the very last man we get to, he asked, he says thank you, but he said, can I pray for you guys? And we're like, of course you can. But it's raining, so he's like, can we go under this bank awning and stand under there so I can pray? And we were like, okay, cool. So we get in a circle, we let him stand in the middle, think he's about to pray, and he just goes in. He's like, you, pointing at me. He said, you're the reason everybody's here. And he goes to the next person. She's an author, one of my girlfriends, she's an author. He's like, you need to change the name of your book. Now, the name of her book was called The Coochie Can't Keep the Pastor.
Oh, no.
Wow. And we all have been telling her she should change the title of her book. So basically what I'm saying is this man didn't ask one question about nobody in the circle. He just started just telling everybody things about themselves. I mean, even one of my girlfriends that tried to commit suicide a week before that, he knew all of that. Like,
wow.
It was like he knew down to the penny how many kids you had, how many baby daddies. Like, he was so... I mean, we were all crying. I'll just say that. Like, we were all just in shock. Like, so anywho, he got to me, like, several times, and he told me I was about to get married. I was about to, meet my husband. Like, it was a whole bunch of stuff that went with that. And it's one of those things you take, and you be like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, he thought we were going to get married this year. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't even have a boyfriend. So, I just broken up with the guy that I had been with literally, like, in December. So it was kind of weird to hear him say I was about to get married. And so, anywho, March comes, and my best friend, one of my best friends, I have a lot of them, I have like 12 best friends. But anyway, my Miami best friend calls me crying like 6 o'clock in the morning. And she's just crying, and she's not in the choir, she's not even she's not even a religious person like that. And she calls me crying, telling me that something has overtaken her, and God is telling her to tell me that I'm about to meet my husband this weekend.
Wow.
It was just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes is what I'm trying to say. So when he came and he approached me and then he brought up marriage, it only seemed like this is what everybody had been telling me back about and all the time. So it's one of those things where it's like, do you do what you've been instructed to do?
Right.
And take a chance? Or do you, because you don't know. You know what I mean? And it's like, do you be disobedient? And then what's going to happen if I be disobedient? It was just a really hard call, so I just said, okay, God, I'm just going to go ahead and go with it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's how I ended up getting there.
It almost sounds like you were receiving confirmation by the time that you met him, and he was talking about marriage.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how long did you know him before you got married?
Before I got married?
Uh-huh.
I don't think I've ever counted it up. March, April, May, June. 4 months.
Wow.
Okay.
So you didn't see anything wrong with him during those 4 months? Like, there was nothing that, kind of said he's crazy?
Not the crazy part, no.
So what did you see?
Let me start over. You have to understand, we didn't live together.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even live in the same state.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let me say that, okay? So it's not like I spent a whole bunch of time with him. I work a lot. I travel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like I do, men can pretend, for a while, especially if you're not with them every day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I have a question about when you did finally get in the same place after you got married. Was the sex mind-altering?
What? Say it one more time.
Was the sex mind-altering? Like, did it blow your mind?
No.
Oh.
Really? What?
Danielle said she can't believe you went through all that for some average.
I know.
No.
Oh, my God. I wouldn't have been able to commit to that.
So let me ask you. So when did you...
the things you do to try to live right, girl. I'm listening. Go ahead.
So when did the real him come through? Because, sex is really important, by the way. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah,
so if he's not mind-blowing and he's giving me issues, it's time to go. So when did all this start? Like, when did his craziness or all his issues come out?
Oh, God. Okay, so my first gut inkling was, actually I probably had 2 inklings. So right before we got married, his baby mama and sister had came on my Facebook page clowning. Mm. Now, I already told y'all how old I am. Right. I don't do shenanigans too well. And so, they on my page. And my thing is, if you got something to say, I'm a grown woman. Just talk to me. You know what I mean? Inbox me, ask me for my phone number, call me. I can talk like adults. It's no reason to get ghetto, whatever, right? So they end up, they're like, he's a bad father. He don't do this. He don't do that. Well, the reason I had a problem with that is because April, I had been on the phone with his son. So his son was with him for spring break. So I'm not understanding what you're talking about. It's not making no sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to understand, I'm getting ready for a wedding, so I got 50 other things on my mind. But that something always kept telling me something ain't right, because no mother is going to come and lie about her child seeing their daddy. That don't make no sense to me. Something ain't right with that. I just couldn't figure out what the story was as to who was lying and how. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You know, that wouldn't have caused me to pause, because that's not something that he can control. You know, sometimes people act out of jealousy,
right.
and...
But that's what I tried to think of, but I said it was something else. It was something, and that's what I keep telling y'all. It kept being little stuff that you kept saying something ain't right, but you couldn't figure out what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it always bothered me, because I don't play with kids. Let's start there. I don't play with the baby. But that bothered me, and I just couldn't. It's like, what question do you ask? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway, me and her settled everything after that one little situation. Me and her, we're still good to this day. I love her to death. Love his baby mama. Love his son. Love him to death. I have no problem with them to this day. Let me make sure I make that clear. But moving forward, the second inkling I had was the weekend we got married. And the weekend we got married, you know how you do a budget and you're like, okay, I'm going to pay for this and the person's going to pay for that, or whatever your money amounts are going to be, right? And so he had told me he was going to pay me X, put toward the wedding X, Y, Z amount of money. Mm-hmm. And so when it came time to pay the money, he was like, oh, can I just give you the money when I get to town? I'm like, okay, cool, fine, whatever. I already had enough money in my bank account. I wasn't tripping. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Just make sure you give it to me that Friday when you get into town so I can pay for all this other stuff I got to pay for. He's like, okay, cool. So Friday morning, he's on his way, and I love people, but at the end of the day, I'm still about my paper. So I'm like, you got my money? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. I'll see you when you get here. Cool. He gets to town, hug, kiss, where my money? Oh, I wasn't able to get no money, bring my money, because my daddy needed the money, something. His daddy needed his money, right?
Mm-hmm.
How all of a sudden your daddy need all your money?
Right. When you already promised me that you were going to pay for X, Y, Z.
Right.
Right. And then when were you going to tell me? Like, why are you telling me at this very second? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When it's time for me to pay all these people, I was pissed. But again, it's the weekend of my wedding. I don't really have time to put that energy in it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Woody. And so I was like, my third inkling. Oh, that's my third one. My third inkling was the week of the wedding. I had called him and I told him, I said, I think I'm just going to rent a bigger vehicle, something that we can, family and friends can jump in and out, with extra clothes. You know how it is when you're moving around.
Right.
I said, I think I want to rent something. I said, what do you prefer to drive? Does it matter if it's a van or SUV? Like, he was like, drive? You want me to drive? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, I got to get my license renewed.
What?
And I was like, you got to get your license renewed. No. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. Because, again, I'm not tripping on all of that, because I'm not even thinking about when his birthday is. Because, again, when you focus on whatever you focus on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he made up this story. The story he made up with getting his license renewed was that he was moving to Georgia, so it didn't make no sense to get him renewed where he was at, because he would have to get a new driver license in Georgia, which made sense at the time. Get it?
Yeah.
So he was really clever with the lies, right? So mind you, let's move forward to being married a week, right? So we married. I bring up the whole driver license thing. I'm like, okay, so you here, and when you going to get your driver license? Because I don't like driving. He was like, oh, I'm going to go get him. Woo. Mind you, to this day, this Negro has not gotten his license.
Wow.
You have to read my book to find out why. Okay? Number two, let's start over with the whole situation with the kid thing. Remember I told you I had an inkling about that baby?
Yeah.
So this past year on the 16th, 2016, I found out. He claimed he had a heart attack. Yeah, that's a whole different story. He claimed he had a heart attack, so I was calling around looking for what hospitals were in the city that he was in, because I didn't know all of them. And long story short, when me calling around, I ended up calling one of his relatives home, and one of the younger kids, I'm not going to call no names, answered the phone, and the kid was like, Uncle Robert ain't in no hospital. I just saw him down the street in somebody's front yard drinking a beer.
Oh.
I'm like, really? Okay, thank you. You know. And then anyway, the conversation went on. I was like, have you ever lied for your uncle? And I said, it's going to be strictly between you and I. I ain't going to never tell nobody in the family you told me this, right? Why did he use that child to pretend like he was his son?
No.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
He is really a sociopath. Like,
yeah.
And this lying about stupid stuff.
Yeah, lying about stuff that don't even make any sense. Like, why would you lie about that?
Who has a child lie for them, though, y'all?
Him?
Like, who does that?
The sociopath.
I'm mad that he lied and said he had a heart attack so that he could fuck around in the driveway and drink beer.
Girl, no. You know the sad part about the heart attack lie? Is he was trying to get attention. Of course, he was hoping I would come to where he was at because, of course, I left him. This is after we separated. Mm-hmm. So he had 3 heart attacks in one weekend.
Oh, okay.
And the sad part about it is, I laugh about it now, but the thing that pissed me off about all of that was the initial heart attack he had. He called his grandmother and told his grandmother he was having a heart attack. And again, I don't play with my elders. You know what I mean?
Right.
And his grandmother had been sick as well. And for you to call her and stress her out and tell, it's just too much. You know what I mean? Like all the lying and all the things he goes through, it's amazing, basically.
Yeah, because I did hear one of the recordings where he was trying to call into work. And you know how they have like an automated person that answers the phone, like when you call anywhere.
I could have played that on the show. That would have been funny.
And he basically was like the person is like, press 1 if you want to reach such and such department or whatever. And he's like in the background, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it into work today. Like, what the hell is that shit?
Oh my God.
Ask me how many recordings I have of that, girl. I listened to one this morning. I have so many recordings of him doing stupid stuff. I can't even listen to all of them.
So did you put something on his phone to record the conversation?
No, honey. It's on my phone. And the thing that's crazy, I told him I put it on my phone.
Oh, my God.
That show you how sick he is.
Oh,
wow.
It wasn't no secret. Do I sound like a girl that keeps secrets? No, I'm not.
Kim, let me ask you a question.
I don't keep no secrets. Uh-huh.
What advice do you have for other women who might find themselves questioning their partner, like before marriage or whatever? Like, what advice would you give to them after being what you went through?
Oh, my God. The reason, I want to put this out there is so people can learn the signs and symptoms of a sociopath. Because, again, this is not a conversation that I know of that's going on or has been going on until you actually have been attacked or been in a relationship with a sociopath. As far as the advice I would give a person that's in a relationship with a sociopath, run. Pray. Because one of the symptoms of a sociopath is basically they have no conscience.
Yeah.
What can you do with that?
Nothing. Right. Like, that's the type of person that will really, hurt you physically.
You can't do nothing with that. That's on God, and them gonna have to take care of. There's nothing I can do for that man that scares him. That's what I can tell him. I said, there's something wrong with you. Nothing scares you. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's one of the first symptoms they talk about. They say what would normally scare a person and make them anxious and wary, a sociopath has no concern. They could care less. You could tell them you're about to drive off a cliff. They don't care. They don't care about nothing.
And also, as long as it doesn't affect them, they really don't care.
No, it does. No. Everything affects them. And that's the other part of the sociopath, because I used to tell them all the time, I said, I've never seen a person lie for no benefit. He lies for no benefit. Just like he lied about he talking to his child. I don't know if y'all heard the call that I also did with his brother admitting that he bought my wedding ring.
Oh, wow.
Did y'all hear that, Clayton?
I didn't hear that one. Wow.
Yeah, I have, they have no conscience, none. He took money from he had his brother spend all his money, supposedly we're going to pay his brother back, and also took money from his brother for the venue. I never got any money from my husband for the venue. I got the ring, but I never got the money for the venue, and he never paid his brother back to this day. Again, no conscience.
Wow.
And it's just sad. And that goes back to what I just told you about the heart attack. He had 3 heart attacks in one weekend. Who calls their grandparent and tells them they're having a heart attack? Again, no conscience.
Wait, he called his grandparents and said that?
Yeah, that's what
That's
she
what
said.
I'm
He called
telling
his
you. His
grandma.
grandmother's the
She
one
called
that
his
called
grandma
me to
first.
come
Was
to the
already
lab.
sick.
What?
To tell her that he was. My thing is, okay, I'm fake sick. I need you to come help me. But 3 heart attacks, though, like he could have just been like, I have a
one
really
weekend.
bad flu.
In one
I'm
weekend.
like a really bad flu. I'm dehydrated. I'm in the hospital. 3 heart attacks.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. And let me tell you what's so crazy about it. He went to 3 different hospitals that weekend, right? He was going to make his point. Somebody was going to put his ass in the hospital, right?
Sorry.
Wow.
Wait, he actually went to the hospital and was like, I'm having a heart attack.
And they told him, no, you're not.
He's like, my chest.
It hurts. It skipped a
He
beat.
was like that Jordan meme.
Oh, my God. Oh, no.
I'm telling you. So let me tell you what happens when he gets to hospital number 3. I'm going to skip to hospital number 3. So I'm exhausted, right? Because this is an exhausting relationship. So the people who calling me, well, he's calling me like 60 to 80 times a day. That's just normal for him.
I would have blocked
And
him.
so I did. You don't understand. He'll ask any. That's the crazy part. How you in the hospital using people's phones?
Let me see your phone real quick.
Gotta call my wife.
Let me tell you.
She not accepting calls from my phone.
Let me tell you how good he is, y'all. He's so good that he was using the doctors and them cell phone to call me and the nurse's cell phone.
Oh my God. The
That's
extent
how good he is. Huh?
the extent that you would
crazy.
go to, it's just like it's too much. That is stressful.
But you know, like I know that it's illegal for a doctor to make a medical call on his personal cell phone on any level. I don't know how this man talks to these people, medical professionals, into calling me or letting him use their phone or whatever he was doing. It was crazy. But let me tell you what was so crazy, because the doctor called me, right? And they're talking, and I'm trying to figure out the best way I can say this without being rude. So I'm like,
no, just let it out,
nothing-
girl. Let it out.
Right. But you got to be nice to people, you know what I mean? Because they don't know what you've been dealing with. And so I'm like, I don't mean to interrupt you, doctor. I'm sorry. I said, but there's nothing wrong with my husband. He's not having a heart attack. There's nothing wrong with him. We're going through a divorce, and he's just trying to get attention. And he's like, no, because he was a foreigner. He was like, no, he come in here saying that he's having heart pain, chest pain, and we asked him what level of pain he in from 1 to 10, and he said he at 10. So we gave him what's that drug they give you when you're going through cancer when you're on hospice?
Like hydrocodone?
No.
No. The one. What
That
they
really
call it?
strong
Oxycontin?
one. No, it's not Oxycontin. It's
It begins with an M, I think.
yeah. I can't think of what it's
Methadone?
called. No.
I'm just guessing.
Not methadone.
It's pain medicine?
Yeah, it's pain, and it's really strong. Morphine.
Morphine.
Yeah,
Morphine. They said we put him on morphine. I said morphine. They like, yeah. I was like, take his ass off morphine.
Wow.
Oh,
I was like, he's about to kill himself for real. I said, ain't nothing wrong with that boy. And I was just like, oh my God, like. And then of course he's already on the morphine, so he had side effects from the morphine that made his heart rate go out of whack.
Right.
They had to give him medicine for that. Then of course the morphine made his blood pressure go
That's
up,
too damn
skyrocket. So they had to give him. It was just a mess. And the morphine is nothing to play with, because that shit will shut your kidneys down and liver down and everything else down. And it's just sad that the list this man is going through, putting me in debt, going to create new debt. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And he traveled all the way to Texas. Did I tell y'all that part? This is the hospital. He went all the way. He got on a Greyhound bus, went all the way to Texas, and went to Baylor Medical.
Hey, that's where I work.
Wow. So you probably saw him.
He probably went right to my some of my physicians and was like, "Oh, we don't have
having
time
a
to play
heart
with him.
attack."
We're wasting supplies on him. He better sit down somewhere."
I commend you for being able to laugh and joke about this,
Right.
because I just don't even know how you roll out of bed in the morning. Because that is stressful. All of that
After
stuff.
1 year, I would have been done.
All of that stuff that
No,
can
after
put you
5
through.
minutes. No,
day of
I'm
the
sorry.
wedding. The
when
day
you
of
didn't
the
come with
wedding.
my money, we would have had a serious issue.
Yeah. I'm like, where my money at?
Honey, all of my friends agree with you guys. All of my friends from day one have told me they have a whole new respect for me.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's a lot. That's a lot to go
They
through.
said they would have killed the nigga. They
Yeah.
would have stabbed him. Like, everybody got their thing they would have done to him. But I'm trying to go to heaven. I ain't trying to let nobody take that from me. So it is. If he want to go to hell, that's on him. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Girl, the Lord know my heart.
Kim, I think
really do.
I think you did the right thing for you, and I'm proud of you and everything. And
Thank you.
I think, like Danielle said, I have a brand new respect for women who endure trials and tribulations, and I cannot believe that he faked 3 heart attacks and had the doctor on the phone
in 1 weekend.
But
yeah, that's not including the cancer.
Girl, stop.
But I'll say this about morphine: when I had my son and I had a C-section, that morphine, that was it.
You was on a new high.
I'm telling you.
I can't take that.
I had all kinds of it was amazing. I was very upset when they took it from me. Okay, but we're going to get into our panel discussion. So, Did everybody have some tips for being objective in dating? Yes, no, maybe? Jen, you got some? Oh. Okay. Well,
I don't like to discuss dating because I'm single and I'm not dating. So
what does that have to do with anything?
Shit.
Didn't we just talk about?
We're not doing this little mini intervention today.
I'm not doing no
from
interventions. I'm not trying to intervene.
Apparently, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll keep my comments to myself.
I feel shade at the table. All right. Danielle, you want to go first?
Let's see. What do I have down here? So if anybody knows me, they know that I am very objective. I don't let my emotions get in the way of things.
That's true.
I sort of take people at face value, and I don't get excited too quickly about somebody. Like, I think that's one of the things that people do is like, oh my God, he's like brand new. It's like a flashy object shining in front of your face.
Like a new toy.
Yeah, and so it's like, oh God, he's 6 foot. He got his shit together, and he's got a good job, and he likes to do this or whatever like that. But then they completely overlook all of the character flaws that he have.
Right.
So
like you point to in your eye.
Yeah, right. So it's like, you have to really ask questions and understand a person for who they are, and not overlook some of the things that they're saying because
you're blinded by the light.
Yeah, because you're blinded and you just want to hear, you listening for what it is that you want to hear. You're not listening to everything that they're saying. Absolutely. Like a guy can tell you, that he's in between jobs. Oh, girl, he working on this or whatever. No, he don't have a fucking job.
Right.
Let's be completely clear about what this is.
What it really means.
Yeah, what it really means. It's like you gotta. It's kind of sad that you kind of have to read between the lines like that, but that's for your own protection. I don't necessarily believe in doing background checks and stuff, because I think that when you operate from a position of fear, you get exactly what you're afraid of.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So if you're saying, I think all men are liars.
A liar's gonna fall in your lap.
A liar's gonna fall in your lap, because you put that out into the universe, and you're like, oh, you believe that everybody's a liar? Let me show you how everybody is a liar, and everybody that you come into contact with, they're gonna lie.
Right, you're drawing that, like the law of attraction.
Yes, you draw that energy into you. So I think that you have to sort of correct your thinking in a sense.
You have to change it.
Yeah, you have to, and
definitely.
that's very difficult to do.
It is.
It's very difficult.
But it is difficult, but when you see that the way that you think is not working for you now, you have to do it. You can't just, like you said, everyone's a liar, or everyone does this, or everyone does that. And if you continue to do it, you're doing the same thing over and over and over, and you're getting the same results. You have to change it.
That was actually one of my tips too, Jen.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say, look for patterns that keep you in the same dating cycle. Are you choosing the wrong men? Are you purposely sabotaging yourself? Are you intentionally placing yourself in a zone where you're doing the same thing over and over again? Like, oh, I knew he wasn't shit. That type of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's that's from the last mini relationship I had. I think that was my eye opener as far as patterns. When someone shows you who they are and tells you who they are, take it and run with it. Just because, you're not, they've had other women, they might have been better than you are, and he's still doing the same thing over and over. Well, I'm not saying me, of course not. But what I'm saying is that, it's the same pattern all the time, and you're doing this to every single person or every person that you meet. what makes you different? What makes you going to stop? You're not. He's going to continue until they want to stop. And they're crazy. Some of them don't do it. But that's one of the things that I did take from my little relationship. Yeah, that one. Just the fact that listen to patterns.
Well, and I was going to say, too, fall in love with yourself and make sure that, I always say you're your number one person. Not to say be completely selfish, or box out your partner. But just remember that you don't have to take whatever bullshit comes to you. You know what I mean? Like, people feel like sometimes, oh, well, I'm going to end up single if I don't put up with John and his bullshit. No, you don't have to take that. It's okay to be alone and it's okay to start over.
That's operating from a place of fear. And when you operate from that place, you get all the stuff that you're afraid of. And you're still going to end up alone because this shit that you're settling for is not even the shit that you want.
Right.
It's some bullshit. And you putting yourself through this shit for what?
But that goes back to what you want.
How many times you don't say shit?
What'd you say? What'd you say, Kim?
How many times she gonna say shit?
Oh, man, that's one of her words.
That's her favorite word, shit.
Her words are shit, whatever like that. You know what I mean?
Fuck you.
She's got several words.
Fuck that shit.
Fuck that shit. Yep.
But that kind of goes back to, Danielle, what you say about...
Can I add my 2 cents to that, please?
Mm-hmm.
I think, too, a lot has to do with, yes, you can love yourself, but if you don't know yourself, it's hard to love yourself. And I think, too, that's a thing. A lot of people that don't know me or thought they knew me and didn't get to know who I was until I went through this. Because when you know who you are at your core, you have a piece that you can't explain. You know what I mean? And for me, it's like some people go take care of their sick grandparent or their dying mother or whatever the case may be, and you don't know how strong you are until you have to go through it type of situation. But for me, I've always known that I'm that type of chick. I'm a rare type of chick. I know I'm that down chick. I'm not a talker, I'm a doer.
Okay.
And so for me, I'm not going to be out here in the street doing everything for everybody else and I can't do it for myself,
Right.
And so for me, that's one of my best attributes. I've always felt, outside of me just being a happy-go-lucky girl, that I'm also the same person that I love myself. I'm cool with Kim. I don't need nobody's approval. I'm like, yo, I don't get crazy over no dude because he's cute, fine, fly, a millionaire, whatever he's driving. That doesn't, and that's why it was easy for Robert to get to my heart.
Right.
Because where my stuff is treasured, you can't see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so the devil knew that, and that's why it was easy for Robert to approach me. Because what I'm looking for, most men don't even talk about, let alone care about.
Right, right.
And so it is what it is. You chop it up and you keep it moving, and now you learn. Everybody has their learning curve, and I had a huge learning curve. But I also know the God that I serve is going to bless me for being obedient, and he also knows my heart that I went into it with the right reason, and I left for great reason. So I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Mr. Right forever, my final man. I don't want to date. I don't even want to date. But, if I have to for a couple of months or a year, whatever God got, I have no choice. I definitely don't want to be with the wrong man again.
Right.
But I definitely look forward to being in another marriage long term and being done. I don't like sleeping around. That's not my DNA. Never has been. I ain't with it.
Yeah. I think that, to add to the points that you were making, is that you have to know what your objective is.
Right.
And if you want to date, if you want to be casual with somebody, because a lot of times people are like, I don't know what I want. I just want somebody I can be happy with. But you have to define what it is that's going to make you happy.
Right.
Like, you can't just go and just be in la la land about it, like, oh, something's just going to pop in my way or whatever. But, like, when you operate from that place, it's like anything comes your way, and you try to test out,
and you're likely to accept it.
Yeah, you're likely to accept, like, anything that comes your way, and that's not really what it is that make you happy. I mean, it's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with, trying different things out and maybe getting outside of your type or whatever like that. But at the same time, you need to kind of define what it is that you really want. Because it's like, how do you know that you're getting exactly what you want if you don't even know
what it is that you want?
Like, you have to know what your objective is. And and you have to kind of remove yourself out of it to some extent to be able to say, this is what this person is telling me, this is what he's showing me, and, really understand who he is or she is as a person, and not necessarily add your own judgment or emotions to stuff like that. And, I mean, Yeah, like, so.
You have to keep it real.
Yeah, you have to keep it real.
With yourself and others.
Right.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, and if
keeping it real and getting that man to keep it real are two different things.
Right.
Like my
you
husband,
can't control somebody else,
Right.
though. Like,
Yeah, he lied about stuff. It's one thing to lie about something. It's another thing to have people around you that's lying with you.
Yeah,
and that was the
that's
biggest problem I had with him. He had his siblings lying for him. He had co-workers lying. You know what I mean?
That shows how
Most men-
manipulative he really is, actually.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because what most men lie about is going to the, I went to the bar with my homeboy, and they really be over another chick's house.
Right.
That's as simple as the lie gets. My husband, he had a whole full-fledged, campaign of lies going on. You know what I mean? And
That's
it's just
very
sad
difficult.
Right.
Yeah, it is, especially when the people that you thought you could count on to tell you the truth were lying to you, too.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. His brother admitted to me after I put that post up, or right before I put that post up, he admitted to me, he was like, you remember those times you were calling down here talking about, I was, just checking in on us because Robert was at work? I was like, yeah. He said, Robert wasn't at work. Robert was sitting his ass in front of y'all drinking beer.
So you know what? That would piss me
Huh?
off because why the hell are you telling me this shit now?
Right.
Like,
I could
you
not
could
marry
have kept
him.
that.
yeah, you could have
Would've
kept
told
that
me the
shit.
truth.
That
You
was
could have
straight
kept that
pissing me
to
off.
yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
at that
But
point.
that's just one of the many calls I get. It was crazy how many people were lying for this man. And I'm like, what grown-ass person is cool with lying, let alone lying to a man's wife?
To intentionally hurt someone else.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
To me, it also falls on the people that actually, help
you
him
know,
out
they
lying.
say
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's disgusting. Like,
Yeah.
you know what, Kim? I appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you coming on our show. And I'm angry now.
I know, right? I'm mad. Like, what the
Now I'm
fuck?
mad. Fuck Roberts. But how did y'all like this wine?
I'm having a divorce party. Y'all need to come.
Okay. Send us some tickets if we got to go to ATL because,
Y'all are so funny.
So did y'all like the wine? It was okay. It wasn't like, oh, I'm so excited about it. But
You know what? I did not like it at first.
But now you like it.
I do.
I
I
do.
do. I like it now. I guess maybe since it's been sitting out or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
I
maybe
do like it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Patrick. Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
just had
Patrick.
to warm up to it, I guess. Like,
I think at first when you taste it, it just doesn't. But it has a different finish. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a bad finish.
It's okay, actually.
Yeah,
And I don't
it's
usually like Merlot anyway.
you don't. I actually, when we had Greg on and we had that Merlot, that's when I started to like it.
Really, you did?
What did I call it?
Merlot. Damn, Jen. damn.
Look, I don't drink it. Okay,
It's like a.
but it's good actually.
So what was your score? I gave it a 15 out of 25.
I'm giving it a 16.
But that was at the beginning. Now I feel like I need to
See,
score
me
it.
too, because I gave it like a 10.
Oh.
Well, because like it's the smell to me, it's like straight alcohol, and it
Yeah.
doesn't really have any fruity. Well, I guess it's not.
No,
really
it's like-
fruity.
No,
It's-
you can't. Like
but-
you usually can smell like berries and stuff like
it's
that.
Not,
apparently,
Yeah. It's
all we're saying is yeah.
yeah. It's not. It's not a.
it just tastes good. All right,
It's not a
That's all it
complex-
is.
Is it good or not?
aroma.
Is it good or not?
I think it's good.
I think it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's
I
good.
did. What's it called again?
Bay Bridge.
Bay
You can go
Bridge,
get it
my
at your local Kroger. Pick
Straight
it up.
out of Kroger.
Straight out of Kroger. I'm a wine with attitude.
Lord.
Okay, I'm done.
You should have known. It was
done.
about to come.
I didn't sing it all. Let me have it.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, thanks again, Kim, for coming on. We really appreciate you telling your story, and we can't wait
Thank you.
for your book.
Thank you. Y'all will be able to check it out on AtlantaUnlocked.com probably the next week when I launch my site.
Okay.
cool.
Is that the name of the site?
Yeah, it's going to be called AtlantaUnlocked.com. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let's keep in touch.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Make sure you guys holler at me when y'all come to Atlanta, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
we will.
Okay. Y'all have a great week.
You too,
All right.
Kim.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Well, listeners, I think that's going to be it. Danielle, what you got to tell them?
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Between Us Girls. But don't keep it a secret. Listen and share with everyone you know. See you next week.